What's up everyone, welcome to today's video. Welcome to the Video Game Fight School channel. Thank you very much for tuning in. I saw an article from Push Square that I thought was very interesting, and I thought I'd go ahead and share some tidbits of it with you guys here. The article is titled, "The novelty of PlayStation's PC ports does appear to be dampening. They're not so special anymore." This is written by Sammy Baker of Push Square. Now, when I saw this article, I wondered what the article was going to contain. However, it wasn't too hard to see that the author was saying basically, probably because of the, concurrent Steam users that the game saw at launch, it, pretty much showed that something was going on. It wasn't necessarily the most impressive, especially when you compare it to the 2018 God of War's launch on PC. Now, that launch came later down the road, but compared to 73K concurrent players that it had, Ragnarok only had about 25,000 concurrent players on Steam. Now, if you even think about Ghost of Tsushima, that one actually did debut at about 77,000 people on Steam, and a game like Helldivers was insane. I think that concurrent peak with Helldivers was somewhere around a few 100,000 when you actually consider, things in the grand scheme. Now, here I think are some of the challenges that you're seeing PlayStation, going to start facing pretty soon. And one of them is simply the fact that the PC market and even the gaming market overall is super saturated. If you've ever taken time to think how many games get released every month or even see the data, I'm sure it's not going to be shocking to you. So let me do a quick quiz. While I'm here making this video, just off the top of your head, how many video games do you think launches on Steam every month? And if you know the answer, then, I guess the quiz is not fair. I'm going to go ahead and show you a chart here from the data that we've been able to, get our hands on Steam database. And I'm going to show you how many games are launched every single month on this platform. There are over 1,000 games launched on Steam every single month. I didn't say year, I said month. So if you go back and look at, say, a year like 2010, 2011, 2012, all the way through 2014, there were only about 1,000 and under launched. And in 2014, that was kind of a huge, turning point where there were 1,700 games that were launched that year. And then the number almost doubled in 2015. Since then, that number has been growing exponentially. And now, as of 2024, we're still in the month of September. There have been 13,667 games that have already been published. If I carry my calculator and I say 13,667 divided by, what month is this, divided by 9, that's almost 1,500 games every single month. In a market where there are 1,500 games being published every month, you can see how this particular allure that PlayStation ports had will start to easily fade in that kind of a market, because again, these games are coming out 2 years afterwards, and PlayStation is expecting for people to give them about full price for those titles. Nobody wants to pay you full price for a title that you launched about, 2 years ago. That's number one. And number two, there are just many, many other games that continue to get launched at the same time from third-party publishers, from indie developers, from other AAA publishers that, pretty much have stuff to offer. And in some cases, DLC of games that have, in a sense, attracted a lot of people in the past. Like one example is going to be Starfield Shattered Space. I saw somebody tell me today that, saying that, Bethesda fans like Starfield is an insult to Bethesda fans. I'm like, see, I know Bethesda fans. There are different schools of thought among you guys. Some of you like some of your games. Some of you don't like some of your games. We've been seeing this stuff since the Fallout series. So for anybody to come tell me that, Bethesda fans don't like Starfield, I'm going to laugh, because I've seen the way you guys argue about the games that you like and the games that you don't like, because there are, little schools of thought that actually do appreciate some of the games Bethesda makes. And some of you, you have your issues. And I see it the same thing with Starfield. But don't give me that, because Shattered Space is actually one that's drawing a lot of people to go back and play the game again, because apparently they like what they see. But back on the topic, this particular data set is one that I think really does lean into exactly what has been written in this article. So this person wrote and said, "It should be noted that concurrent players don't give us the full sales picture. They merely tell us how Steam users have the game open at a specific point in time. But generally, a higher number of concurrent players means more sales. earlier this year, Black Myth Wukong posted some mind-blowing concurrent player statistics, which were accompanied by some outstanding sales figures. For anybody who wants to know what Black Myth Wukong did, I'm sure you probably know by now that the game did 20 million copies in sales. That is insane. It not only did 20 million, it did 20 million copies in 1 month. Does anybody hear what I just said? In 1 month, the game did 20 million copies. Its concurrent player base is not the 16,000 that you're seeing with God of War Ragnarok. I think right now, if you look at Ragnarok, it's about 16,000. It's been hovering, and I think it moved up to about 20-ish or whatever, however many thousand was written here in terms of the highest in-game, concurrent players, which, 25,000. Black Myth Wukong, in its own peak, let's see if we can find that chart. Its peak was about 2.4 million at the same time had the game open. Now, God of War Ragnarok did sell a lot on PlayStation. At the end of the day, it seems like PlayStation probably did not need this particular port in terms of sales. And so for them, 15 million is basically, a big deal. Maybe they'll come back and try to farm a few more million. But I don't know if 15 million is actually, the end all be all for them. They're still lacking behind Nintendo, who carries, some sort of a much more hardcore model of what it is they're trying to do. Nintendo will not bring their games to PC just yet. And so these are some of the things that we need to take into account. However, I'm not going to be surprised if this behavior continues more and more on the PC side, which I think continues to lend more and more credence to the fact that PlayStation needs to consider this particular approach of day and date. It's not because I want to go ahead and play the game on PC. I couldn't care at all. If the game comes out on PlayStation and I want to play the PlayStation and it's an exclusive or whatever it is, I'll play it on PlayStation, especially if it's a PlayStation game and it's from the PlayStation studios. I have my PlayStation there and I'm going to go ahead and play the game if I'm interested in playing it. You know what I mean? So it's one of those things where it's not a matter of like self-preservation. I couldn't be bothered. I'm the guy that I will play a game on a 4090 at 120 FPS if I want, and then I'll play a 30 FPS game if I want, because to me, games are good when games are good. That's not really, in my opinion, my priority anyways. But I just thought I'd share this article with you guys. I thought I'd go ahead and, point out some of the statistics that I think may be causing this particular phenomenon at the moment in time. I mean, that was always inevitable. But let me hear your thoughts in the comment section. Thanks so much for watching the video. I really appreciate you guys' time and audience, and hopefully we'll talk pretty soon in another one. Peace out.